What happens when a prisoner already behind bars for attempted murder makes one reckless decision that changes everything? This is the story of Benjamin Morgan, and trust me, it only gets worse from here. It starts inside a prison, where tension is already high. Officers give a simple command: return to your cell. But Morgan refuses. What should have been routine quickly turns into chaos, a struggle breaks out, and in a shocking moment, he bites a corrections officer. Yes, bites him. Now here's where it gets even crazier. Instead of taking a plea deal that would have added just 9 months to his sentence, Morgan decides to fight the case in court. His defense tries to argue it was all a misunderstanding, even claims the officers used excessive force. But the judge? Not convinced. Not even close. And this is where everything flips. Morgan's behavior in court, his attitude, his refusal to take responsibility, doesn't just hurt his case, it destroys it. The judge makes a decision that leaves the entire courtroom stunned. That 9-month deal? Gone. Instead, the sentence is doubled to 24 months, 2 full years, added on top of the time he's already serving. And it doesn't stop there, he gets 0 credit for time served. One decision. One moment of anger. And now, 2 more years behind bars. Stay tuned, because what led up to that final sentence is something you won't believe.
Evidence in this case showed that on May 16, 2024, inmate Benjamin Morgan was out of place. A simple institutional violation that Corrections Officer Stephen Bills tried to remedy by asking the defendant to simply go to his cell and shut the door. A command that the defendant refused repeatedly. Over and over and over again. Nearly 20 times, Officer Bills calmly gave the defendant a command to lock down. He refuses to do so, and so he gets hit by a short burst of OC spray, pepper spray. A signal 3 is then called. Officer Nard, Corrections Officer August Nard, who's already en route to K Block, to the defendant's cell, based on the earlier request for assistance, hears the signal 3, starts running, and arrives at the defendant's cell as Corrections Officers Bills and Garcia are fighting over the door with inmate Morgan. And what did inmate Morgan do the entire time? I'm a good fighter. Fight me. Fight me. You spray me, I'm going to fight me. I'm going to fight you. I've dealt with bigger people than you.
Older man. Shh. Sorry.
He was combative and resistant the entire time. They had no choice but to do what they did. Nothing was excessive. Nothing was unnecessary. The defendant was not entitled to use force back. He was not entitled to act in self-defense. The state has proven this case, and we ask that you return a verdict of guilty. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Newberger.
You've heard a lot of talk about rules, and you've heard testimony about force. I'm not involved with law enforcement except in the trial setting. And I am absolutely certain that I'm grateful that I'm not a corrections officer. Because in both videos, I see 3 corrections officers trying to do their jobs. People make mistakes, and it's up for you. It's before you to decide whether a mistake was made. But I've got to admit, when I watched that first video, I got angry. I got angry at Mr. Morgan. It took me a little while to get past that, to look at all the evidence. And you'll have all that before you, and you've had it all before you. But I got angry. Because if my daughters had been that disrespectful to a teacher, they would have been suspended, if not expelled. And I certainly would have punished them. But it wasn't Officer August Nard's job to punish. But what's irrefutable and unrebuttable are the two videos that you have an opportunity to see while you're deliberating. And you've heard all the evidence and the testimony.
What if I told you a man already locked up for attempted murder somehow made his situation even worse, with one single moment of anger? Meet Benjamin Morgan, an inmate who turned a routine prison order into a situation that would cost him years. It all starts when officers tell him to return to his cell. Simple, right? But instead of complying, Morgan refuses, tensions rise, and within seconds, things spiral out of control. A physical struggle breaks out. And then, something completely unexpected happens. Morgan bites a corrections officer. Yeah, you heard that right. Now here's where the story takes a crazy turn. He's offered a plea deal, just 9 extra months. For most people, that's an easy decision. But Morgan? He rejects it. He wants a trial. He believes he can beat the case. In court, his defense tries to paint a different picture, claiming confusion, even suggesting the officers went too far. But the judge isn't buying it. Not for a second. And as the trial goes on, Morgan's own attitude starts working against him. The more he pushes, the worse it gets. Until finally, the judge makes a decision that changes everything. That 9-month deal? Completely off the table. Instead, Morgan is hit with 24 months, 2 full years, added to his sentence. No leniency. No credit. Nothing. All because of one choice, one moment, one mistake. And trust me, you're going to want to see exactly how it all unfolded.
A biting sound. A chomp. It broke the skin, it left a bruise. But watch the video. Watch it over and over and over again. Because what it will show you, and what the facts are, is the defendant refusing to comply with anything. And corrections officers doing what they needed to do. And based on that, I'd ask that you return a verdict of guilty. Thank you.
What happens when a prisoner already serving time for attempted murder makes one impulsive decision that changes everything? This is the shocking story of Benjamin Morgan, and it's hard to believe what unfolds next. It all begins behind bars. Officers give a simple order, return to your cell. But Morgan refuses. Tensions rise. A struggle breaks out, and in a shocking moment, he bites a corrections officer. Yes, actually bites him. You might think the consequences stop there. But they're just getting started. Morgan is offered a plea deal, 9 months. Easy choice, right? Not for him. He demands a trial, thinking he can beat the charges. In court, the defense claims it was all a misunderstanding, even hints that the officers used excessive force. But the judge isn't buying it. Not even close. Morgan's attitude and refusal to take responsibility only make things worse. The result? That 9-month deal. Gone. Instead, the judge doubles the sentence to 24 months. 2 full years, added to his current term. And he gets 0 credit for time served. One impulsive choice, one moment of anger, and suddenly his time behind bars just got a whole lot longer. You won't believe how it all unfolded. Stay tuned to see every shocking detail.